how to prepare ourselves mentally and critically for intentional living. The year goes by, the weeks goes by, the days goes by. Every time, are we living the life that we really want to live? In today's video, I'll be sharing with you some useful tips that we can use to guide ourselves in the process of living the best life that we deserve. I don't want to be busy. I don't know what busy means to you, but to me, busy means I'm doing something, I'm running like a hamster, I'm not getting things done, thinking in my mind that I've gotten those things done or that I would get it done. But I always find myself busy. And I realized that the whole problem of being busy is because of lack of proper planning. So today, let me share with you some useful tips on how we can be present in the moment, live intentionally, and plan accordingly. The first thing is reflect and evaluate. Now, that's one thing I find myself doing. How often do we find ourselves reflecting on things? It could be from work, it could be having a conversation with a friend, things like that. I always like to reflect my day every night, and then based on how that goes, I evaluate myself on setting a clear agenda of what my values are and what I want to be present in, right? This is when journaling comes very useful, because we often have to go through our journal for us to be able to reflect, and therefore we can evaluate on where we want to be, how we want to attend to certain things or situations in the future. I am still very new to journaling and I'm taking it easy. I take my time with it. I try to journal once a week or every time I feel like there is something that needs to be kept down. The other thing is to write down our goals. What are the things that we want to achieve and what are the intentions that we are setting with it to go in line with achieving our goals? We can give ourselves deadlines for our goals based on the Q1, Q2, Q3 or Q4. And of course, there are bigger goals that takes a longer time to achieve, say 3, 2, 4, 5 years from now. It's always better to write. That way it helps us visualize, and also it helps you set targets on when you want to achieve these goals. And of course, there are bigger goals that takes up to 5 years or even more to achieve. The whole idea is to be reminded by writing it down that this is what I want to do. Of course, there are goals that you can set it today and you can achieve it in 2 weeks' time, but the whole idea is just for us to be very much intentional. Therefore, we are active towards achieving those goals. The next thing is to go to God. Now, for me, I am a Muslim, so I'm always supplicating to Almighty Allah. I'm thankful to Him for everything. Therefore, I know He's the only one. For me to have all these goals and ideas that I do have, I am just like, okay, how will this even play out? But the truth is, you have one person that is always able to attend to you. So for me, I go and pray. That's the next thing. And the truth is, there's no such thing as luck. The only time we get lucky is because it is the right time for us. It is when we find ourselves truly prepared for what we are trying to get done. And this takes me to the next tip, which is financial planning. Now, this right here is very important. A lot of us don't even know how to do financial planning, and I find myself in this situation, and it's so sad, honestly, because sometimes you just find yourself spending and spending, and at the end of the month, or for me, I do at the end of the month, I keep all my receipts, and when I look at what I've spent, and I'm just like, OMG, and sometimes it's inevitable. So the whole idea is for you to be able to plan. Of course, there are going to be some miscellaneous expenses, but the whole idea is just to plan. The other day, I find myself getting angry because I realized I needed to pay for something impromptu with my car that I did not plan for. Of course, the usual thing for me to pay for was, okay, definitely you pay for gas, definitely you pay for servicing, and maybe a few other things that are random. But this time around, something else happened, and I'm just like, OMG, I need to cough out this money to sort this out. Once we're able to plan financially, we know if we can even go on a trip. You know, it's so sad because they don't teach us all of these things in school. These are things that goes into self-development. The next thing is to get clarity. Once we have all these things in place, definitely you have a clear idea of what you want to achieve, because you have a clear picture of how you want certain things to play out for you in your life. This brings me to my next tip, which is very important, and I'm glad that a lot of us are going into this now. We are focusing on wellness and health. Yes, well-being is your best state of mind. I don't care what anybody says. If you're not okay in your mind, there is no way you can actually function well. Well-being is non-negotiable because that is your happy place. How you feel on the inside is how you're going to think, and how you're going to think is going to be how you're going to act. And of course, when it comes to health, do we want to eat well? Do we want to work out? For me, I'm focused on moving myself more often. A couple of years ago, I used to go running and doing long walks. Unfortunately, I tore my ligament, so I couldn't do that for a while, and I kind of just became lazy about it. Of course, I'm going to go back to that. It's always good to just move, and also probably focus more on yoga and Pilates. I find myself actually joining a group of people once in a while when I can to just do this. Again, you want to find yourself with the right kind of people that have interest in the same kind of things that you do. So the next thing is to organize and declutter. Now, this really does help. My state of mind is always decluttering, but for some reason, since I became a mom, I became kind of laid back, maybe because of being overwhelmed as a mom and stuff like that, but that is a habit that I do now often. I find myself decluttering and organizing. Of course, sometimes you just want to be in the moment because, again, you don't want to overdo it, right? But I find myself that the moment I organize something or declutter, I have a clearer way of thinking. The place looks new to me, like everything just feels all right. So decluttering in this situation could also be digital decluttering. We want to delete things off our devices, computer, external drive, things that we don't really need anymore. Like, this actually takes time for me. I find myself doing this every now and then. Therefore, I don't want to take pictures or videos that are not useful because, again, I'm creating junk for myself, and I really don't want to find myself in that situation. The next thing for me is relationships. Now, when it comes to relationship, we have our family relationship and friends. I am definitely open-minded to making friends, but of course, it has to be with people that have interest with the kind of thing that I do or values of what that I portray. If it's going beyond that, I just lay off. And for some reason, I find myself now that I love to be around myself. I enjoy my own company. And I don't know, I really don't know why, but I enjoy my company. Once in a while, of course, you want to hang out with friends, but for me, I find it really exciting when I've not seen somebody for so long and then I find you again or we meet again. Of course, this is going to be different if you have a best friend, but in a situation whereby you don't have a best friend, the people that you're talking to or hanging around with, what is the essence of whatever you talk about every time? For the longest time, I was on the scouts thinking that I should have a girlfriend, a bestie. Everybody wants that, but the truth is not everybody that gets a best friend because it's a whole lot of work. Sometimes you are just blessed to have a best friend. So you might be your own best friend. Right now, I can say my younger sister is my best friend. So, of course, keep it simple because, again, you don't want relationships that are turning you to be what you're not. The next thing is to explore and learn. Now, definitely we want to create memories. What kind of memories do I want to create? And whilst we're exploring, we are making new memories. Also, when you're also learning, we are also creating new memories. We learn things that we have interest in. We explore with things that we also have interest in. Exploring could be you traveling with a group of friends or doing a solo travel just for you to experience certain things. Another thing could be celebrating a party. It could be a milestone, whatever it is. Note it down now, and then you just see how everything plays out for you in the nearest future. And the next thing is to plan out your day and night before. As simple and as easy as this is by far the most important with everything that I've said. Because every day starts with a night, and every night must have a day. Therefore, we want to be sure that we are planning our next day a night before, just for us to have a guideline of how we want the day to play out. Of course, certain things might not go right during the day, but at least you know that there are certain things that you were able to control, that you were able to get done. The things that you could not do, or the unforeseen things that must have happened, can always definitely move to the next day. Yeah, so that's all the tips that I have to share with you. If you were able to get any value from this video, I'll be glad if you subscribe to the channel, like the video, and give me a comment below. That really helps the channel. I would see you on the next one. Bye.